been 4 years since, 2 years since we had a swearing in. And it was, well, and then mice. Never mind, let me start over again.
And only 1 month since.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the January 9th council meeting. Happy New Year to all of you. Hope everybody had an awesome holiday season and welcome back. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. It is a momentous occasion when we have an election. In this election, we have 3 new council members coming in tonight. I'd be remiss if I didn't say an awesome thank you to Councilman Ramlin, Councilman Powell, Councilman Dimick for the awesome job that they've done in the 4 years that they've served this city. Let's give them a round of applause. It is not an easy job. It's a job that'll keep you awake at night. I know. I changed your mind a bit. But we do appreciate y'all's service to the citizens of Hapeville. Thank you very much. And I don't know what y'all gonna do with yourself. We'll find something for you. So with that being said, we will begin our swearing in. We had a discussion over the years. We've done the swearing in at different times. We decided it was kind of fruitless to have a 6 p.m. work session with a council that hadn't been sworn in yet, so we figured, well, we can either wait till 7 and avoid the 6 p.m. meeting, or we can go ahead and do the swearing in at 6 p.m. and then bring them in. The new council would be seated for the work session at the 7 p.m. meeting. So that's what we decided to do. And with that being said, I will call Councilman-elect Travis Horsley forward, please. Raise your right hand, and you'll basically repeat after her.
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I
will truly perform
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability the duties of council member at large by adopting and enforcing such measures as in my judgment shall be best calculated to promote the general welfare of the inhabitants of the city of Hapeville and the common interest thereof.
Welcome aboard, Councilman. You have anything you want to say? You want to introduce your family?
Sure. My wife, Fernanda Pilar Horsley. My dad, longtime mailman of Hapeville, John Horsley, and my mom, Tracy Horsley. Tomorrow, I would have moved here 4 years ago. So it's been an awesome 4 years living in Hapeville, and I'm looking forward to the next 4. And looking forward to serving both y'all that are in the room as well as those that are not present. So I appreciate the honor of being able to serve. Thanks.
Welcome aboard. All right, this time, Councilman-elect Mark Adams will be sworn in by Mike Simpson. Mark? Raise your right hand and place your hand on the Bible.
I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will truly perform the duties to the best of my ability as a council member of Ward 1 by adopting and enforcing such measures
As in my judgment shall be calculated
as in my judgment shall be best calculated to promote the general welfare
of the inhabitants of the city of Hayesville
of the inhabitants of the city of Hayesville
and the common interest thereof.
and the common interest thereof.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations.
Thanks once again. I just want to say that it's truly a humbling experience to be elected to a city council that I think that is very progressive here in Hayesville, and I think that is ubiquitous among all of us, that we want to see in Hayesville to continue to thrive and excel, and I can't wait to serve with these two great people along with the existing council here for the city of Hayesville. Again, thank you. I look forward to serving you.
And now Councilman-elect Ward 2, Chloe Alexander. Chloe? Okay. I think you've been trumped. You can hold the Bible. I'll let you hold the Bible. You don't want to charge anything to hold the Bible. You just read it, she repeats it after you.
How far to go? Just
All the way. Right. Yes, sir. You hold the Bible.
Yeah, I'm always wondering. I, Chloe Alexander, do solemnly swear
I, Chloe Alexander, do solemnly swear
that you will truly perform to the best of my ability
that I will truly perform to the best of my abilities
the duties of the council member, Ward 2,
the duties of the council member, Ward 2,
by adopting and enforcing such measures
by adopting and enforcing such measures
as in my judgment shall be best calculated to promote the general welfare.
Let her see that. That's in my judgment.
as in my judgment shall be best calculated to promote the general welfare
Of welfare of the inhabitants of the city of Hayesville
of the welfare of the inhabitants of the city of Hayesville
and the common interest thereof.
and the common interest thereof.
Welcome aboard.
Oh yeah, I've got my whole family there. My dad, Gary Alexander, my aunt, Thea Alexander Fenner, my uncle, Michael Clark, who's my cousin? My cousin. He's just older. My cousin, Tori Fenner, my other cousin, his brother, Terry Fenner, my grandmother, Betty Clark, Alexander Clark, depending on what she's signing. My husband, Juan Carlos Mayo, and then my two kids, Adonis and Karina.
All right. All right.
Mr. Mayor, can we get all three of them to
Yes.
stand for a picture?
Yeah, we're still done. We should ask John Springer writes the song. Very good. There's a rock and roll song that says, it's closing time. You gotta go somewhere, but you can't stay here. So, ask y'all to depart the stage. And just remember, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Thank you for your service.
We do have to go, but luck y'all. Good luck, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, y'all.
Ms. Alexander? I'll let you pick your spot. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Pick your spot, boy, anywhere you want to go. Councilman Adams? And y'all can argue about spots if y'all want to switch them up. And Councilman Horsley? There you go, sir. Oh, so you're mimicking your plan. Well, welcome aboard.
All right.
We'll get the party started. Yeah, it was a little warm. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight and witnessing this auspicious occasion. I say a hearty welcome to our newly elected council members. I look forward to
Microphone's not on.
Pardon me?
Microphone's not on.
It's on. It's not be loud. Try again. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Sorry about that. I look forward to working with you in the future, and that starts tonight. So thank you very much for your dedication and for having the courage to make a stand and run for office and successfully win your respective seats. So congratulations. At this time, I'll take comments on any agenda items. We'll have comments at the regular meeting, at the 7 o'clock meeting, for anyone who has comments or wants to make general comments at the end of that meeting. So we'll take comments on agenda items at this time. Yes.
I really have a real question. Maybe the last time I looked at the agenda. Diane Dimmick, 3360 Old Jonesboro Road, citizen of Hapeville. On your agenda, item 7.1, it's the public hearing. Is it, okay, ask about that now? The grocery store. Well, I'm not sure, Planning Commission or whoever did the pre-approval, but there's a grocery store in that same building. So I'm just curious about the need for 2 grocery stores within 4 doors of each other.
You were on the planning commission. You will speak to that anyway.
I also wrote that down as a question that I have, and it's also a concern that I voiced at the planning commission meeting as well, so.
Thank you for your comments. Any other comments on the agenda item? Brian?
Frank Faulkner, 3100. Frank Faulkner, 3100 Springdale Road. Same item. paragraph 6, look for here would be a typo in there. You've got a school instead of a grocery store.
Also saw the same thing.
Okay, very good. Pass it on to the next person.
Any other comments on that agenda item? Okay. We will then move into an informal discussion of agenda items. The first item is, as was mentioned earlier, we have a couple presentations. The first item for the business part of our meeting, we do have a public hearing tonight, which is consideration of the conditional use permit at 407 Anglo Central Avenue. I'll have to defer to our planner, but I believe when we're deciding matters like this, it's our job to decide whether that use is applicable, not anything beyond that. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are certain standards that we review. I'm sorry. That's correct. There are certain standards that you will use to review the application, and those standards are listed in the planner's report. Particular use.
All right. Next agenda item under the consent agenda, we have consideration and action on the 2017-18. This is a felon ordinance. This was started back at the end of last year. Previous council regarding setting some stipulations and guidelines and permit requirements for folks wanting to come in and do filming within the city. So we had first reading at December 5th, I believe it was. So this would stay the second reading. You guys, so it's really up to you unless you guys have any hard about it.
Is that perfect new?
Yes, this is, yeah.
Question. So, actually just a few comments. So, there was a desire, when I was reading it, to keep in mind that we might have student filmers that are at universities and or high schools that are doing filming in the area that might not have the economic wherewithal to pay for permits. So possibly adding a line item exception to allow for student films, but I'm not sure if that falls under the auspices of charitable films, since school and or university is probably a 501c
I would
something.
think it would fit, but we can certainly clarify. We can pass it adding that verbiage, as long as it's not a substantial change to the ordinance.
Okay. Second question, which I'm unaware, is are we a camera ready city? By the way, the Georgia Department of Economic Development is.
That's my knowledge.
It references film liaison various times throughout the ordinance. Wondering who will fill that role within the city. There's a clause that says not for commercial use. (11-14-2) D, subsection 2. I know that's under personal and family video, but when I read the commercial clause, it was making me think as well, sort of by definition of what we describe as film. And this is sort of more of a question to the rest of y'all, but I'm just thinking XYZ small business in downtown goes out and films an Instagram commercial for commercial purposes. Is that technically considered film under the auspices of this code? And should we also just add a small business exemption with language possibly saying that if it's a Hapeville-based business that's below the Small Business Administration's definition of a small business, if we can waive permits?
I don't know that there's a vehicle in there, but we should do that right now. That might be something, it sounds like these changes are going to be a little bit more sensitive. y'all want to table it and work on a list of changes that y'all want to look at adding, changes or additions.
You're saying that you,
I'm just saying, like, if passed as is,
a small business would have to pay a fee to shoot a
I'm
commercial.
just thinking of Eric or somebody at Valare going out and doing a small 30-second commercial that's not really invasive.
I don't think that, I don't know that that would qualify because it's designed for folks that are using the city right away or they're filming will obstruct the city right away. I don't know that that would fit.
It seems to me that B3 might cover that, or perhaps even under number 1. If the film was being done to promote the business. 11:14:2.
That says
News media?
licensed studio with a small business count as a filming studio?
I think it would be exempt under 3 personally. That's just an opinion. I would have to get some further clarification on that.
And while we're talking on it, there was also section 11-14-6. I'm thinking this will be the appropriate area to put it. I'm just thinking of nighttime shots where it says, A, residential locations, filming in residential neighborhoods shall be limited to the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. I totally respect that, but if said locale where it's being filmed agrees, like say 80% of that street signs on to a form designed by the city to allow for a 12 o'clock shoot, the flexibility that we can have.
But I think that could be multifactorial, though. I think it could be, if you look at from perspective, those residences particularly on that street and those surrounding areas as well, that could be affected too, perhaps what's occurring on that shoot as well.
Yeah, even if it's a small group, their rights should be respected as well. Even if it's a handful that would object to that, I would think since it's their residential neighborhood, that their rights should be respected. Personally, I think the time seems to be pretty broad, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Right. And then the last point that I had on this one was, I still believe it also cover under 11-14-4. But if you look at the way the Georgia Department of Economic Development has basically reduced tax liability for film industry with the understanding that at the end of credits, you see a Filmed in Georgia logo. Wondering if, in the same way, to get the film-ready nature of our city out and about to local film studios, if a reduction in permit costs or something of that nature could be added if they put Hateville logo at the end of their credits. That's it.
Steve, it sounds like pretty formidable changes. Would you recommend we table that? Because this was over action.
Yeah, I think we should be making the modifications for the approval of the minutes. Probably put what you want in writing, make sure everybody's clear on what we're doing, and then bring it back.
All right, so when we do the consent agenda, would somebody make a motion that we remove that item from the consent agenda?
I have an item later to amend as well, or to add. It's a housekeeping issue. And I had just 1 or 2 questions on this film before we move on to the other council members. I read 11-14-4B and C, I suppose. Can I get some clarification? It seems to me certain applications would be approved by the Office of the Film Liaison, and others would go to Mayor and Council. Is the language In B, if film activity interferes with traffic or involves potential public safety, applications shall be submitted a minimum of 7 days. Is this the type application that comes to mayor and council?
It's the one that addresses if they're using explosives, anything like that. I think at the last council meeting, you all wanted those to come before you.
So it's limited then to the item, or that's the N 11-14-4N. Is that correct?
Well, that's important.
Disturbing the peace. N.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, I have no problem. I just wanted some clarification there. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, then we move into first reading of ordinance 2018-01. This is the home occupation tax permit. I'll read the full verbiage of the second reading. It basically amends the code to clarify the intent of home occupational tax allowable use while eliminating specific occupational restrictions. Anything in particular, Lynn, you want to bring to our attention on that?
Yes, the reason we brought this forward was there were specific occupations that were listed as non-permitted uses in a home occupation, which perhaps when it was written, the nature of the occupation was a little bit different. For example, a real estate broker was not an allowable home occupation use. It's not that you have any more people coming to your house to sign off on documents. So really what we wanted to do was to streamline this and show the intent of the home occupation tax permit as something that meets the intent and the integrity, maintaining integrity of residential neighborhoods, but also allowing, what's happening within your home, as long as it's a lawful use, that it would be permitted. So it just took some of the specific restrictions on occupations out, and the planning commission looked at this at their last meeting and had a few changes that are listed as well. You can see the strike-throughs in the text itself. They wanted to enable someone perhaps who had a wood turning in their garage or to be able to store materials in a garage, as long as there was no evidence outside on the exterior of the home, that they be allowed to maintain this home occupation.
Council, any questions on?
Question on line 86, separate account for electrical power. Is the intent of that not be wiring up your possible in-law suite in the back?
Yeah, you're actually not allowed to have that. The intent is that it would occur within the home, primarily an office use, but it doesn't, it still allows for a variety.
And on line 89 where it says no evidence of home occupation, is that intentionally vague but means signage or?
That is what the planning commission had asked for last month. And they said basically, if you are allowed a sign, you cannot limit what that sign says. But certainly the sign verbiage was taken out of this and put in the appropriate. There is verbiage in the sign permit about signage in residential areas.
I had a question about section 2.6, where it says no more than one person in the home can be employed. So if it's a home business that is employed by a couple, that would not be allowed?
That would be allowed. So what they said was no home occupation shall employ more than one person other than the applicant at the site in which the home occupation is conducted. So what the planning commission intended for this is, let's say you had a bookkeeper who came by, that person would be allowed to come by and work with you side by side. Before, it was only a family member that was allowed to be, again, the language is a little bit vague. So this is allowing a plus one.
Gotcha.
Any other questions on occupation tax permit? Next item, consent agenda is item 9.4. This is first reading of ordinance 2018-2, personnel board duties. While reviewing amendments to the city's handbook, the city attorney suggested an amendment, section 4-302, regarding duties of personnel board. The current language and the proposed text are attached. Any questions or comments on that?
And Terrell, I just wanted to know when's the last time the personnel board met?
It's been a while. I don't remember.
I haven't seen any minutes or.
No, it's been a long, long time.
So is there even a need to?
continue it, or?
I remember the personnel board was part of our structure, and it has been as long as I can remember, so I don't know.
It's part of the appeals, employee appeals process. I think we've had employees that have either sought to go in a different direction in appealing a possible wrongful termination and have avoided the appeals board, or, the personnel board, I'm sorry, correct myself. But I don't know specifically why they haven't had any recent appeals. Is that correct, just for employee appeals, part of the employee appeals process?
So is that the reason they haven't met, is because they only convene if?
They only convene if
If there's, that's correct. If there's an appeal from that.
You've established a personnel system that at the end of disciplinary action, there's a possibility for the employee to appeal to this independent board. And I guess through good management, we've been able to avoid having an employee take it to that very end. That's unusual that we haven't had any appeals, because normally, in my experience, a city that has a personnel board can have 3 or 4 or 5 a year easily. So I think it says something about good management that we haven't had to do that. But if you don't want to have a personnel board, we have to revise that personnel system fairly extensively.
That was my main thought, that it would oversaw grievances and appeals and those types of things there. However, my concern was, why haven't they met in so long? Would you just clarify that for me?
I think it could be, it could either be evidence of good management, or it could be evidence that employees aren't aware that there's a personnel board, or that they can file appeals.
Don't underestimate the knowledge of employees as to what their rights are. In my experience, they all know what they are.
I just wanted to check.
Any other question on that personnel board? We'll move into old business. Next item up under old business was discussion of traffic calming in the Virginia Park area. Some residents approached council at the December 5th meeting with some concerns about traffic flow through Virginia Park. And Chief Glavsek, Bloodworth, and Tim Young have met with representatives